Hey YouTube, welcome to Pagan Perspective. This is Megan, aka Spearstreet, and today we're talking about the ability to do magic. Hey YouTube, welcome to Pagan Perspective. I am Megan, your Wednesday host, and today we are talking about this idea that people have an ability to do magic that other people don't. No. So the question comes from Joe, and it is, hi, I was wondering if you could do a video about the ability to do magic. I've always thought anyone who is interested could do it. Recently, someone in a pagan forum said that only certain people can do magic, and it makes them better than other people. I would love to hear your thoughts. Well, okay, Joe. I don't know who said this in the pagan forum, but I don't agree at all with that person. So, we're not always going to agree with everybody. That's just sort of the way it is. And that's why we have this channel, is for different perspectives. However, I think that sometimes different perspectives can be a little bit damaging. And this feels like it's one of those ones that could be a little bit damaging. And I don't really like that so much. Basically, the way that I have a take on the ability to do magic is that every single person, every single living being has the ability to do magic. It's not just humans, it's animals as well. We all have souls and we all have the ability to do magic. Now, that does depend, I guess, on your definition of magic. If you expect a dolphin to light incense and walk around and call quarters, no, maybe that might not happen. But when you broaden the definition of magic to its totality, what magic is really about working with energy, about working with the natural forces, about working with the elements and spirit and all of that, that's real magic. And all living beings do that in some way. So the ability to do magic is innate, simply because we have a soul. We are energy. So therefore we have the ability. It's within us, always. Now, that being said, there are some people who I would say are more adept at certain types of magic. And see, that's the difference. There are different types of magic, and some people can be more adept, more practiced, more skilled in those areas, and it's usually because they practice. Now, yes, are you going to get the rare person who maybe just has an affinity for weather and suddenly does, this amazing weather magic, and they did it effortlessly without any practice whatsoever? Sure, that totally can happen. Absolutely. There are going to be people who have some form of natural talent for it. However, most people who are very adept at a certain type of magic actually have to spend a very long time, years even, practicing to be able to get that adept at it. That doesn't mean that somebody else can't be adept at it. You just have to practice, that's all. Now, I say different types of magic, and I just gave one type, which is weather magic. There's also elemental magic, there is candle magic, there is crystal magic, there's all sorts of different I could go on and on for days about the different types of magic that there is. And so yes, can you become a quote-unquote better? I don't like that word. I like adept, more skillful at a particular type of magic? Absolutely. You can. You can definitely get better at it. I know that we did a video recently, well, maybe not recently, a few months back on dragons. I don't work with dragons, so I did my video kind of with what I know about it, and then I posted on my personal channel an interview with a high priestess who works with dragons all the time. And she was able to say, look, here's what I've learned working with dragons, because she's more adept at it, and I'm not as adept at it. I'm not adept at all because I don't work with them. So that's my example of that word better, I guess, is just that people who practice particular types can have more skills in a particular area. Same thing with athletes. So right now the World Cup is going on and my partner is really into it. So I've been watching for the first time, and they are hardcore athletes. Now, my personal favorite sport is gymnastics. And they are hardcore athletes. Now, could a gymnast who's a total hardcore athlete go out there and play soccer like these women do for Team USA? No way. I mean, with training, they could, if they had trained as long as those soccer players had from birth, then sure, their body is physically probably capable of doing it, but they're not trained in doing it. It doesn't make them, though, any less of an athlete just because they can't do one specific set of skills. Just like it doesn't make me any less of a witch or any less able to do magic simply because I don't work with dragons. Simple as that. It's all about what we practice, what we have an affinity for, what we enjoy. And that makes us adept at certain things if we spend the time on them, or if we have some type of natural affinity for them. Everyone, though, has the ability to be adept at any type of magic that they want. Pick a form of magic that you love. Pick something that you feel drawn to, you feel connected to, that you have some essential spirit energy binding you to it. That's where you're going to find that type of magic that you feel most connected to, and you will be able to go even farther in that type of magic than if you try and push yourself into a type of magic that doesn't feel right. We should never push ourselves into doing something that really doesn't feel right in the spiritual realm. If it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. And so back off, meditate on it, figure out what's going on for you, and then you'll be able to kind of get a little bit more insight as to, all right, is this really going to be something I should focus all of my energy on? Or are there other things that I could be putting more time and energy to that I might get a better return from? Now, that being said, if there's something that you love and you're still getting pushback from it, maybe it's because it's a difficult challenge, or maybe it's because it's just a weird time going on in your life or even in the world, and you really love it, go for it. Push through, make it happen. I mean, why not? This is magic. You can do it. You just have to want it. And yes, are there certain ways of doing certain magics? Yeah. I guess it depends on the tradition. My tradition would say absolutely there's a certain way of doing it. Other traditions say you can feel free to do things however you see fit. And other traditions say, well, follow this basic formula and then kind of make your own thing in between. And there are a lot of other traditions that have other beliefs about it as well. So you really have to ask yourself, what are your personal beliefs on it? How do you personally feel about it? You know, if you belong to a super traditional coven, you know, say it's Alexandrian Wicca, they might have a pretty specific way that they would like you to work a ritual or work a spell or to learn a particular type of magic. Whereas if you are an eclectic solitary, you know, the world is your oyster, so to speak. So what I'm trying to say is don't be intimidated by these people who are clearly just trying to be douchebags on the pagan forums. I see them all the time. Just don't listen to them. No one is better than anybody else. Everyone has their skills. Everyone has their talent. You have the ability to do magic. It's innate within you, within everyone. That's just the way it is, plain and simple. So that's really all I had to say on the topic. I hope that you know, DB doesn't dissuade you in any way from practicing, because you have it within you. And yeah, so continue to ask questions, guys. I got a lot of questions in the last video, so this video will be your second chance to ask questions that you want to know from me personally. I got a lot of great ones. I'm going to try and get to as many as I can. I have a lot of repeat type questions, so it looks like I've got a lot of questions, but I think I've only got like 2 or 3 in total that are a little different. So I have a lot about a couple of things. So if you have other questions that you want to add to the mix, anything you've been really wanting to know. And keep in mind that some people before you might have already asked that, and see if maybe you can give me a new one. I like interesting new stuff, so challenge me or give me something crazy and out there. I like funny things as well. So if you feel so inclined, and I appreciate everyone who asks questions, awesome. And I can't wait till next week's video where I get to pick a bunch of them and answer them for you. So that is it for today, guys. As always, blessed be.